Yo, check this out. This is Wayne Wonder, representing for Warwick Hill TV. You see the vision, don't it? See the vision. Warwick Hill TV. Keep it locked.
Now, I'm gonna tell you. We, us as bloggers, these are the issues that we need to address. You understand what I said? You see? Set the path for the youth. Share, like, and subscribe and stay tuned to the channel. I don't know all this. Yes, I. Greetings to the mighty name of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I, and all things that's good and wonderful amongst us. You see? And I say welcome our viewers and subscribers. See? Viewers, if you like the content, subscribe and make way go to the platform. You don't know. See? See the vision, man. Get involved in the vision. See? See the vision? What do you know about the vision? My vision will turn your world upside down and tear asunder your illusion and send the sanctuary of your own ignorance crashing down around you. You know, see it? Yeah, so observe the vision. See? I man want to send enough respect to my brother Andrew. See? Big up yourself, my brother. Yeah, all the man where no matter how me a chat and go like great. Man they just mock me and go honest. So I man give thanks. See? So I'm gonna play a video where the Canadian ambassador dig down Jamaica, and after that, stay tuned for the article where I read. The article is published in a British newspaper called the Daily Mail. See? So I'm going to read the article after, which makes an interesting read and a revelation to how effective our culture is. You see it as my last video might have opined. You see it. So this one, I'm still try further cement or reinforce the claim. You see it. I bring the receipt them to the item. See? So this video when I show the item now is just to show how much how disparaging and how much power, weaponry, and pull them put into, defaming, discriminating against Jamaica, not for the simple facts of, violence, crime and violence, because crime and violence exists on a wider scale in a whole heap of other places, where proper more known places that endanger a whole heap of people more. You understand? Now, we're not going to elaborate on that, because, again, we can only talk about ourselves. You see that when we are talking about ourselves, we have to look deep into ourselves before we start criticizing other people. We're not talking about Jamaica now, we're talking about black people and all, because in the case we make reference to another more serious crime and violence where happen elsewhere, it might just be other black people we are talking about again, same way. You see, so we're going to watch a little video here and, be mindful and stay positive. Just know, say, we're in the midst of a battle. You see, these are weapons of war. These are strategies of war. You see, you call them things sabotage and espionage, where the simple economical potency of Jamaica, which is tourism, is being brutally assaulted here by a very, in a very unorthodox way from a member of the ambassador team and things like that from Canada. I mean, this is very untact and diplomatical, unprofessional. This is a simple, petty, little dirty dig from a boy. You see it, and we demand better, or we demand more. We ask an explanation and an apology. So, before we go any further, watch the video and then we read the article. See? And I give thanks.
If you don't have dogs to protect your property, you're going to have to hire a security guard. Now, we had a bunch of security guard on the property, one at a time, of course. Hawkeye, the company that was providing them to us, okay, was providing us with a guy with a shotgun. Imagine this, okay, I'm getting out of my house to go swim with my daughter in my own private pool, and I have to have a guy with a 12-gauge shotgun right next to us because being attacked on your own property is a problem, okay, even on the mountain, even in a gated community. This is where even in resorts, is a problem. If you travel to Jamaica, you're gonna have to stay with the resort, and you're gonna have to travel where they tell you to, and make sure that you're gonna be with the people of the resort. If you try to go out on your own, okay, it might be the last trip you'll ever take. And this, you're taking this from a guy who actually lived in Africa in a bunch of countries and actually been to Iraq and Afghanistan. I'm telling you that, guys, it's very, very dangerous on the island. Okay, let's take 2 seconds to hear this from the infographic show.
Kingston, Jamaica. Now Jamaica. This is a country where many tourists flock each year. Many of those, though, don't stray too far from their resort. Or if they do, they're careful where they go, or are in a tour group of some kind. Crime against tourists might just be a casual pickpocketing in places such as Montego Bay or Negril. But in parts of Kingston, things can get very real. Forbes also tells us Jamaica is the third most dangerous place for women to visit because of sexual assaults. One person on a forum said when he does business in Kingston, he will not go anywhere without an armed guard. Some others say they visit but leave parts of the city out, such as Spanish Town. Other travel websites just say give Kingston a miss, as violence is rampant on any given day. Go out for an all-nighter in Spanish Town as a newcomer? Well, you might not get home in one piece.
Now, like it shows in this video, Kingston is the second most dangerous city in the world. And trust me, when you receive the UNDSS every single morning, this is United Nations, the Department of Security and Safety, the emails in the morning and say, hey, don't go to Spanish Town, don't go on that road. There was a shooting here, there was a shooting there. One staff got sick, the ambulance show up over there, and basically people robbed the ambulance. I'm not joking, this is Kingston. Now, for school, my daughter was going to AISK. This is the American International School at Kingston. $30,000 a year, right? But they have the AC. It was a secure school, security guards everywhere, very safe place. Also, no indoctrination. This is the biggest issue that kids are facing, okay? Maybe not the local, but the foreigners are. You're gonna be going to school and literally going to do devotion and all kinds of religious stuff. If you're not religious, like I'm not, that's an issue for your kids, okay? And if the second your kids are saying they're not going to church or they cannot name the church they're going to, okay, they're gonna be ostracized, they're gonna be ridiculed. It's insane.
Yes, we demand an apology for them, a grievous over-sensationalization there and sang, you know what I say? These are slanders. Nothing like that is so. You understand? Tourists are people. I showed a video the other day where a white man from America, his channel is called Sabbatical. You can go ahead and watch his profile progress and how he's administrating Jamaica free, like anywhere else in the world. And he loves it. But just should confirm for sure it's an assault on a culture that's so influential and totally opposing to their agenda that even, you know, the media, there's a, just watch what go on. Listen what go on. Published by the Daily Mail, something like that, Nick Harding. See? With her ear glued to her mobile phone, my 11-year-old daughter, Millie, was deep in conversation, her brow furrowed as she discussed some arrangement with her friend. I listened in as I made jam in the kitchen. Lol, that's well sick, Millie said. DW, YOLO. This indecipherable code speaks sick meanings awesome. DW is don't worry, and YOLO means you only live once. Was delivered in an accent I could only place as somewhere between South London, downtown Los Angeles, and Kingston, Jamaica. You see, it certainly isn't indigenous to our home village of Ashted in the rolling Surrey Hills. This is not even in London. You see, not even in central London. When Millie ended the call, she turned to me, smiled, and asked, "What's for supper, please, Dad?" in perfect received pronunciation. It seemed that after less than a month at secondary school, my daughter is now bilingual, but it is not French or German, in which she is suddenly fluent. You see, her new language, compromising alien words and abbreviation delivered with Fox West Coast American afflection, will not stand her in good stead when she embarks on a school trip to visit museums in Berlin. Millie now speaks a version of what academics call Multicultural Youth English, or MYE, which she has picked up from her friends, middle-class girls from the home countries. Middle-class girls from the home countries. Many well-heeled parents with children who have started secondary school this term will, like me, be familiar with this change in the way their children speak. Some will be frustrated, while others will be depressed that their youngsters are conversing in what I can only describe as a clumsy rap speak derived variously from the West Indies, Mumbai, MTV, and American reality TV stars, the Kardashians. Initially dubbed Multicultural London English by linguists, this bizarre way of speaking is now creeping out of the city and into the shires. The middle class area, like the upper part of the area, into the shires, infecting children like some linguistic superbug. I greet my daughter's new vernacular with puzzled bemusement. To her friend, she speaks in what I like to call a Amerifican, a linguistic affectation, where the final syllable is in each sentence plunge off in intonational cliff. Her vowels are stretched to breaking point, and conversations are now dotted with misused prepositions, which I constantly try to correct. Just yesterday, for example, I asked her, "What did you have for lunch today?" She replied, I had lasagna. Like lasagna? Do you mean cannelloni or maybe moussaka? I persevered. No, I had lasagna. The ruinification of language does not stop there. The ruination of language does not stop there. Since everything good is now epic, every triumph is met with whoosh and humor. And humor no longer merits a laugh, but instead acknowledged with lol. Hi. So why is my daughter, along with hundreds of, if not thousands of other children, committing these linguistic atrocities? It's cool, she told me. Everyone speaks like it. How do the boys at school talk? I asked. Like Bob Marley, she said. While I sometimes tire of yanking the grammatical reins and worry that this dialect will spill over from the playground into Billy's everyday life, I actually thank heaven she isn't speaking that particular version of MYE favored by teenage boys through Middle England, the hideous dialect known as Jamaican, which seems to be spreading rapidly. It differs from American in that the influence is mainly Jamaican, yet it has been adopted by boys of all races and colors. Our local 406 bus ferries people from the affluent Surrey village of Ewell to leafy riverside borough of Royal Kingston upon Thames. Mostly the verbal soundtrack to this journey through the middle-class heartlands of the southeast is estuary English, the formal clipped tones of received pronunciation, and perhaps a smattering of Korean and Polish. But at 3:30 p.m. each weekday, the destination on the front of the bus might as well read Kingston, Jamaica, rather than Kingston upon Thames, as hundreds of children from comprehensive schools head home, bickering in an indecipherable language which, frankly, only they can understand. Lampooned by the television comedy character Ali G and Lee Nelson, Jamaican has its very own lexicon, a random hodgepodge which includes words such as blood for friend, catch for relax, and crepes for trainers, and originated in the ethnic melting pot of East London. It is heavy with Jamaican and Afro-Caribbean inflections. Words are clipped and there are idiosyncrasies with unknown origin, such as saying right instead of right. Worryingly, MYE is all in all its forms take many of its characteristics from the misogynistic and expletive written worlds of rap music. Professor Paul Kerwig of Lancaster University has studied MYE and said it is no passing fad. It is evident that this new type of English is spreading outside London around the big urban centers of England. Some young people in Birmingham and Manchester use local versions of it. For example, because of the slang and its association with hip-hop, it's considered cool and fashionable. This leads young people and some older people too to pick up the slang, and the style is their everyday talk, even though they may be middle class and not from the inner city. Yeah. Professor David Crystal, linguistic and author of Wordsmith and Warriors, the English Language Tourist Guide to Britain, adds, groups and bondings are especially important to teenage girls. So if there is a feature which is perceived to be cool and fashionable, you are almost certain going to get it spreading like wildfire in the particular age groups. It is now perfectly normal for kids to leave junior school, start secondary school, and switch their accent and dialect. Experts agree that MYE has spread quickly because of mobility between cities and also technology. Worryingly, it is projected to usurp some traditional regional dialects, such as Cockney in London, within the next 20 years. In cities, the problem is so acute, it even affects the school choices parents make for their children. Rockstar Paul Weller is one of them, admitting that he chose private education for his children over the local comprehensive near his home in London's wealthy Maida Vale because of the way local teenagers speak. I don't want my child coming home speaking like Ali G. I'm just not having it, he says. It is not just snobbery about accent which is stoking parental concern. Diction has a direct bearing on how speakers are perceived, especially in the job market. He's going to contradict himself. An investigation by ITV Tonight program 2 weeks ago concluded that there is a social stigma attached to certain regional accents. A survey commissioned by the documentary revealed that people speaking with Liverpool and Birmingham accents were perceived as less intelligent. Jamaican was not included in the report, but it seems unlikely to score highly in any linguistic league table. However, it is now so entrenched that some experts believe it will never be eradicated. It is already many people's ordinary speech and will stay with them into adulthood, says Professor Kurzweil. For my part, I am sure that if I persevere with my light-hearted nagging, Millie will grow out of her new verbal habit. I hope that I'm right. It concerns me that children are becoming conditioned to speaking in a dialect which many potential future employers will find totally off-putting. These children are in danger of literally talking themselves into unemployment in later life. I hope I enjoy that one as much as I did, because I really did, and I'm happy to share. And in fact, there are other videos, prominent public figures, in politics who, spoke publicly of the effect or the infiltration that Jamaican language, the Jamaican accent, the Jamaican dialect has got on the English culture. You see, so when you see the Canadian guy do a video like that, yeah, it's just one of them, snap there to Jamaica and its culture, because they might try use for them, for discredit or diminish or belittle the dialect. You see, but the fascinating thing about it is that the children are beginning to learn that it's nothing but English. It's broken English, and one of the most attractive spoken broken English. So it draw the youths to it more than the ordinary English that they would have spoken. You understand what I said? But You don't know. Can't see the reason for the whole heap of hour and thing like that. But we just do this for sure. It doesn't affect us, and nor do we take much offense from what they perceive to be a threat of such. You understand? We know they are just being rude and bigoted. You get what I say for the most of it. See? But they've got no bearings on how the thing grew. They've tried, especially with the deportation orders that were passing recently, the draconian rules against Jamaicans and things like that. It was on the back of a lot of these politicians talking about the culture being infiltrated and things like that. So it was all set and square. The game was set to make it look like every Jamaican was on wrongdoing type of side of things, so as to try recondition or recharm the kids' mind away from the influence. See, and it goes to show how much effort these politicians or these society put into maintaining a certain condition within themselves, a certain, I wouldn't say standard, but a certain way of life, a certain thinking, a certain culture. You understand?